Welcome everyone to our Practice Builders webinar series. My name is Gillian Van Cleef and I'm the manager of eMedia at Practice Builders. Today's webinar is titled 7 Ways Social Media Can Bring Awareness to Your Practice. Before we get started, I want to quickly address a few details regarding this webinar. All attendees will be muted, so if you have a question during the webinar, please feel free to type it into your chat box and we'll address your question during the Q&A session at the end. Also, once the webinar has concluded, every registrant will receive a copy of the PowerPoint slides as well as a recorded audio version. Now I'd like to introduce Lera Kaluag, our presenter for this evening. Lera is the Director of Marketing at Practice Builders and has established multiple marketing strategies within different online avenues and is a social media advocate for healthcare practitioners. I'd like to welcome Lera Kaluag.
Thank you, Jillian. Thank you for the warm welcome. All right, greetings everyone, and welcome to the webinar tonight. Again, my name is Lera Kaluag, and I'm the Director of Marketing at Practice Builders. And let me just say, I am so excited for everyone to come together as a group tonight and learn what we have to share. And judging by the number of people on this webinar, I can finally gauge of just how much interest there is in social media and how it can potentially bring awareness to your practice. By attending the webinar tonight, I commend you on taking the first step into the social media realm by not only educating yourself on what it truly is, but also knowing how to effectively and properly use the tools that we recommend to benefit your practice overall. And what I'm especially pleased tonight about is that you decided to attend our webinar. As you know, Practice Builders has been providing solutions on how to achieve practice success for over 31 years now. We do focus on private practices and offer as a partner to you comprehensive solutions to building, strengthening, and also maintaining your practice. We also specialize in online solutions because we know that the internet these days is an incredibly significant source to get your information and find out more information about your practice. And so here's an agenda of what we'll cover tonight. Again, taking your first step into the realm of social media actually consists of multiple steps. So the first step is really educating yourself and becoming aware of what social media actually is. The second step is recognizing what types of resources are out there for you, and as well as are suitable to use as a healthcare practitioner. Third is learning how to actually educate these types of resources properly. And so these days, you hear the word social media everywhere, and I mean everywhere. You hear it on the radio, you see social media icons on commercials, and ironically, you even see it on printed collateral. And so what I wanted to understand was to see how people generally defined of what social media was. And so naturally, as I do with everything, I turned to the internet. And this is what came up as the first hit, and I'll read it out loud. Social media is a group of internet-based applications that build on the ideological and technological, I'm running out of breath here, foundations of Web 2.0, which allows the creation and exchange of user-generated content. Wow, that was a lot. That was a lot. So as a marketer, I am always flabbergasted of how simple messages can become so convoluted for no reason at all. And what that does is that it ruins your chances to communicate with your target audience effectively. And that's why I think, from reading that, why I think social media is often so misunderstood. Generally, when people think of social media, they think Facebook and they think Twitter. And that's true, but to an extent. One very important point to remember that it's not just the tools or technologies that you use, it's how you use it. And with that being said, I took the liberty of defining it my own way. Social media is a way for people to share ideas, content, thoughts, and relationships online. And how simple is that? And so with this approach, with the combination of using the tools and proper strategies, you will soon see how social media can best benefit your practice. And to help you understand social media even further, I wanted to use a helpful analogy that will hopefully guide you when you engage your audience through social media. This analogy is a particularly good one because it shows how important this particular type of communication is. So I want you to think of our social media as a cocktail party. And so at this cocktail party, we as a guest will run into two types of people. There's Brutus, who is camped out on the left-hand side of the room, hogging the good chips and dip. He is very loud, very aggressive. He screams at you, interrupts you, and pushes his way into your life. And then we have Lauren, sweet Lauren, who you see is all about listening. She is thoughtful, caring, and is only interested in what you have to say. Now, the first approach, as you see here, is unlikely to make you popular. Nobody is interested in this, especially a potential patient. Now, when searching for a healthcare provider, one does not want to be pushed or bossed around into something that they're not sure of. So they want that emotional connection that will make them more comfortable and leaving your office self-assured. They're more likely to go with the second approach. Lauren is where people at the party will want to gravitate around because there's value and credibility there. And when you have these, trust will follow. And when there's trust, they're eager to introduce Lauren to friends and family to share their positive experiences. And so I want you to rethink marketing in a different way on 2 levels. Now, there are basically 2 types of marketing strategies that every practice should have, irrelevant of what type of practice it is. You will need to cover both areas, so keep this in mind. With an outbound approach, one would use strategies such as e-blast campaigns, direct mail, ads and publication, and even having your staff calling past patients after their last visit to see how they're doing. In essence, you are interrupting their lives to get your message across, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the main issue that you will encounter with outbound marketing is that people have the power to block you out. They'll turn off their computer, they'll throw your brochure away, and they'll even ignore their telephone when you call. Now, here's why the inbound strategy is so important. You'll need this to help balance it all. Inbound efforts include blogging, websites, SEO, and of course, social media. So when potential patients are ready to find you, you are already there. So for example, if a patient is searching for a specific type of healthcare, they will first turn to a trusted family or friend for a referral. If they're not able to find one, they will then turn to the internet. And when they do, you want your practice to be visible on the web in a positive way, whether it be through a website or a great review on a social sharing site. And so again, we hear the word social media on everything and anything we come across. So why is it so popular? Here are the reasons. Any type of effort that will bring awareness to your practice for a long term is extremely valuable. It builds trust amongst all types of patients and will also work for you when acquiring professional referrals from other physicians. Another important benefit that physicians may or may not think about is that social media also has the potential to improve your internal practice infrastructure. Now, let me ask a question to those physicians who are sometimes too busy with patients all day to really see what's going on at the front desk. Is your staff asking the right questions to patients that result in maybe a second appointment or a follow-up? Are they being greeted warmly at the front desk? What is the average wait time? So these are possible issues that you may never be aware of until you have access to your patient's thoughts who are on the other side. And you will never know whether they leave your office unhappy or not. Sometimes they are not comfortable in voicing a complaint in person, but believe me, they will be more comfortable voicing their complaint as well as having their negative experience posted online for everyone to see. And so take advantage of how powerful these networks are, which will ultimately earn you a steady flow of repeat patients. And last but certainly not least, let's cover the best benefit of all, and that's the Trusted Referral Network. And so what I wanted to particularly emphasize on tonight is how powerful the Trusted Referral Network works. Social media can be an extremely efficient for advertising your practice online. Now, this is an effective way for your practice to be heard about and talked about when you're not there to do so. So it works for you. And there are many integrated ways to achieve this. So for example, let's bring Lauren back. Hi, Lauren. Lauren has 230 friends on Facebook and chooses to like your practice because she was extremely satisfied about her visit to your office. When that happens, all 230 friends will be notified that she likes your practice. And what's even more great, when she statuses with that like, there's a link included in that with a URL to your practice page. It's so simple and it's so effective. And so everyone will know and everyone will share that information even further. Another example would be if Lauren wrote a glowing recommendation about your practice on Yelp. Once that review is posted, her friends on Yelp will be also notified of that positive review. Now, say 3 of Lauren's friends on Yelp just so happen to be looking for that same type of physician that Lauren has just visited. So even before going to Google, they will ask Lauren about her experience and therefore will choose your practice as a result. So as you see, the power of friends, a family network, and the information that's shared instantly will be the first resource that people will use and trust, especially when it comes to the choice of healthcare. And so this chart here is a collection of data generated by the Social Media Marketing Industry Report. And you see here that all of the successful efforts performed by social media has helped businesses long term. And that's what's so important. Whether it's increasing traffic to a website to increase followership, or even reducing marketing expenses, social media is a necessity for anyone with a long-term mentality to continue to grow their practice. And so here we are counting 7 social media ways we can bring awareness to your practice. And we picked these top 7 social media network tools because these are 7 extremely powerful outlets in the online world. These 7 mediums were selected specifically for healthcare practitioners like you, and so we highly recommend that you use these networks to engage your audience. As we all know, there are thousands of other types of networks that are available, but these 7 will be the most effective for bringing awareness to your practice. We'll also discuss some best practices tips on how to properly use these social mediums to your advantage. And keep in mind that these aren't numbered in any specific way, as all of these tools are equally important. All right, first off, we're going to start with practice blogs. Now, practice blogs, or I would say blogs, is basically a journal that is available on the web. So just think of it as a type of website that is usually arranged in chronological order. So you would have the most current entries up at the top versus the less recent entries down at the bottom. Blogs are usually written by one person, although you can have guest bloggers, and are updated regularly. Blogs can be a great value to bring awareness to your practice because it allows you to effectively communicate to your reader in a different way. And that's because blogs are different from a practice website. A website promotes information about your practice and what types of products and services you offer, whereas a blog can serve as a comprehensive resource where medical professionals and other audiences can gain valuable insights and information that's relevant to the medical industry today. So here's an example of our Practice Builders blog. Now, as you see here, our blog is branded with our logo and tagline. Below that, we have information about who we are and also links to perhaps maybe find an archived article that you may not see on the left-hand side. So here are some more important points to remember when getting started. We want you to attract your target market. This will work best for you in obtaining loyal readers to your blog. And you can do this by sticking to writing content on what you know best. And this is a wonderful technique on how to build credibility and trust among all types of patients and peers. Secondly, mix it up. Post entries that give perspective and insight about your practice, but also with current news or events related to the healthcare industries. And last but not least, be sensitive to the AMA media policies, where it's recommended to use privacy settings to protect personal information and content to the fullest extent possible. Also to remember to always be HIPAA compliant. Do not post any type of patient identifiable information on your practice blog without consent. And now we turn to Facebook. As you know, Facebook has really become a phenomenon in itself. There's a movie about it, everyone's on it, and I think the average user has about 131 friends. Because it's over 500 million users strong, it's a great place to be found and an even more valuable tool to use for communication purposes. The demographic of Facebook users ranges from 13 years old to 55 plus. So it makes sense that a practice should have a like page created for that very reason. A Facebook like page is the perfect tool to virally get your message across. Again, think back to the visual that I showed earlier on how important the Trusted Referral Network is. This platform is a great resource to engage your potential patient base around the clock. And what I mean by having a like page is this. Maintain a professional image on Facebook by having a like page. Like pages are equivalent to professional pages on Facebook. And so have people like your page as opposed to having a personal page where people can be your friend. Like everything we have, our Facebook here is branded with our information on the left-hand side, which also includes information such as our address, our contact information, as well as links to our other social networks. Up at the top are tabs that we have chosen that are also customizable that best represent our organization. We have chosen this landing page graphic that you see here, complete with buttons that are clickable that actually redirect you back to our website. So as you see, we make it a point to cross-integrate all of our web content to constantly improve our internet rankings everywhere. Number 3, Twitter. Twitter is an extremely effective tool used to connect with potential patients and colleagues. It promotes your practice while creating interactive relationships with your followers. Twitter is unique from other forms of social media in that it's designed for very short, to the point communication. Now, while it is a great tool for posting announcements or promotions, it's also an opportunity to really highlight what you specialize in. In other words, diversify your updates with useful or insightful information to your field. And it's perfect for sharing links to other content that you may have created that may not fit under the maximum, such as online articles or even updates to your website. And so here we have the Practice Builders Twitter page. On the left-hand side, you will see a list and directory of our latest tweets. On the right, you see information about who we are following and who is following us. Now, being followed by your patients and colleagues gives you the opportunity to interact without any effort. Being a follower allows insight into what people are saying about your practice, which gives you a 360-degree perspective on what's really going on. So remember to stay active within the Twitter community by responding to posts or retweeting something positive that someone posted about your practice. Eventually, your tweets will develop into a voice or personality that your readers will recognize as unique to your practice. And lastly, always remember to stay AMA and HIPAA compliant with all Twitter-related activity. Hub pages, number 4. Hub pages are great to build your credibility on the web while promoting your practices in addition to directing audiences back to your website. Hub pages empowers you to become your own author of true original content, and therefore they will retain all property rights that are posted within your articles. Now, the idea here is that writers, aka hubbers, publish pages about subjects they have extensive knowledge on. And so you, as a physician, can use this tool as a chance to highlight on medical topics you know best that will set you apart from the competition. Hub pages is particularly effective for those who are within a certain specialty. And it's within these articles, aka hubs, where you can elaborate on subjects that you feel it's important to share with those audiences online. You see here our hub pages for Practice Builders, where the key here is providing true, unique content to your readers. And you can establish yourself, again, as a credible source or an expert by having a well-written hub that offers unique information. Hub pages are different from blogs in that you don't continually add to them, but rather they generally act like standalone magazine articles that are posted online about a specific subject. All right, number 5 is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great platform for keeping in touch with patients and colleagues and connecting with industry insiders to generate new leads and referrals for your practice. LinkedIn puts a large and significant emphasis on knowledge and leadership, which lends you a great opportunity to separate yourself from the competition. Now think of it as an online resume, where you have the opportunity to really showcase your medical expertise. You can also highlight positive recommendations that peers have given you to increase your integrity of your knowledge as a healthcare provider. And so bringing us to our Practice Builders LinkedIn page, you see here that we have chosen to showcase our products and services to healthcare practices like yours, and you can do the same. Find out who you know just to get started. And you'll be surprised of how many people you already know that are already connected on LinkedIn. Add a picture to your profile. As mentioned, LinkedIn is about individuals and who they are. So it really looks odd when someone's LinkedIn profile is a faceless silhouette rather than an actual photograph. So use a picture to really personalize your profile. Ask to connect. Whenever you have a face-to-face interaction with somebody, ask them if they're on LinkedIn and if they'd like to connect. Or rather, get their business card and then use their email addresses on that business card to find them on LinkedIn. And when you ask to connect, they will likely have an interest in creating a relationship with you. And lastly, don't hide. This is a number one mistake that LinkedIn users may or may not even know this type of setting is on, so don't hide. All of your search engine optimization efforts will go to waste if you hide your profile. Make sure after your profile is what is at the par that you would like it to be at. Make sure the profile is public for everyone to see. Number 6 is YouTube. Now, your YouTube channel can help brand your practice by allowing you to customize your color scheme to complement the look and feel of your practice's identity. You can also add links to your practice website and relevant information on your channel. So informational videos are seen as an opportunity to really showcase your expertise in a given field and establish you as a credible source among your viewers. Videos can be used as, say, how-tos on explaining a product or a service that you provide, or even can serve as a virtual office tour for those who are curious about the environment of your practice. So on our Practice Builders YouTube page, we have informational videos about assisting practices with various pain points. Again, you see that it's branded with our colors as well as our social media graphics and icon. Other options for videos may be also patient testimonials or even turning podcasts into videos. Really, the sky's the limit, guys. There's unique clips that you can use that can serve as a commercial for your practice. And always remember to tag or label your videos appropriately to gain even more viewers. There are people out there who sometimes search in generic terms, and so that gives them a chance to still find your practice on YouTube if their keywords connect to something that you've labeled correctly. Number 7 is Yelp. We come to Yelp, and these days, Yelp, in my opinion, is probably one of the most powerful tools of the internet today for healthcare providers. It's a sharing information site whose main function is to provide readers with real reviews about businesses nationwide. Now, the people that write these reviews are not professional critics, but are in fact real consumers who talk about their personal experience in detail about their connection to your business. So each review results in a possible 5-star rating, and given that these are real reviews by real people, other readers will gladly take the time to read the reviews in detail. And so if somebody searched for a healthcare provider, their standards, I would imagine, would increase even further and would ultimately make a decision solely based on what other Yelpers had to say about one's practice. And so on your Yelp page, ensure that your information about your practice is accurate. When reviewing your practice, many people will also use Yelp for additional information, such as where your office hours are, what days you're open, and whether or not you have multiple locations. You can also use this as perhaps announcing special offers. You see here that we have marketed our webinar on our Yelp page, and that actually has brought in many registrations tonight from that. And lastly but not least, encourage happy patients to review their experience at your practice. In addition to that, closely monitor your reviews so that if needed, you have the opportunity to resolve any type of patient or practice infrastructure issues that may be at hand. And so let's complete the circle. We've covered all 7 social media outlets, and to truly ensure that you are properly integrating all networks, remember to have your social media links/icons available within every way you connect. So remember to add your social media URLs to your business card, your homepage on your website, your social media networks, and even your email signature. This will allow you to fully enhance all ways for social media to bring even more awareness to your practice. So now that I've taken you through the multiple steps of educating you and guiding you through the tools, I trust that you now understand the importance of social media. Because our main goal as a partner is providing solutions to you on achieving practice success, we are here to help in making social media easy and manageable for your practice. And so, as you see here, our social media package includes the following networks you see here. We are able to set up as well as manage our social media networks for you. So as seen with our social media pages, we will create custom and branded pages to be consistent with your practice's identity. Within the maintenance package, we, on a monthly basis, can manage statuses in Facebook, help increase your followership in Twitter, and even place your categories, your practice in categories in the appropriate location so that users can easily find your practice. We also offer all of the back-end services that you need to ensure to be constantly active within your social media outlets. In addition to that, we also offer custom blogs for your practice. For you, we create a blog that's installed on your domain, complete with social media plugins and blog submissions. And so when we submit your blog to a blog directory, it builds and enhances your search optimization efforts so that your blog can be found easily on the web. Now, if you would like us to maintain your blog, we can do that too. We provide you with the customer and technical support that you'll need, in addition to delivering metric reports to you every month so that you're always aware of how your blog is performing online. And so what we're offering tonight are two very, very special webinar promotions that's only being offered to our webinar attendees tonight. So let us help you get up and running with social media efforts that you need to be successful for your practice. We're offering 10% off our social media package, in addition to 10% off of our blog package. Now take advantage of this offer now because as you see here, this offer expires very soon. So if you're interested in saving 10%, enter your information in the chat box and we will have a program consultant contact you shortly and also address any other questions on detail about how our social media efforts work. And because social media, as you know, is only a portion or a segment of your overall practice success strategy, I'd also like to offer yet another webinar special to attendees on ways to build, grow, and strengthen your practice. And how we do that is through either a practice success workshop or an on-site consultation. Now, both services will guide you through a complete program of ways to help your practice boost your bottom lines. And so tonight, we'd like to offer you a specially priced workshop for $795. And remember, that's a savings of $700. If you're interested in the on-site consultation where we come to you, we are offering a $1495 consult, which saves you a total of $1,000. So if you'd like to learn in detail about ways to protect your practice, in addition to how to effectively use social media, register for either a workshop or an on-site, whatever works for you. All right, so now we come to the Q&A session, and I see that there are quite a bit of, which is very exciting, quite a bit of questions coming through the chat box. So what I'll do in order to finish here in a timely manner, because I know it's getting late on the East Coast, is I'll answer and how they were received, so maybe like 3 to 5 questions. And if I'm not able to get to your question, I do apologize, but I promise myself or either a program consultant will address your question tomorrow, as well as provide any more detail to you if you wish. So the first question I have here, let's see, and this is a good one here. If I have friends on a personal Facebook page and I want to start a like page, how do I transfer my friends from one page to the other? And that's very easy. Simply go ahead and create your like page and invite them to like you. It's not a daunting task, and people don't mind doing this. In fact, they will be interested in viewing your new page and see what type of fresh, valuable information you have to offer. Perfect. Okay, second question we have here, let's see. Okay, so what they want to know is if you have a Facebook, or if I have a Facebook and a Twitter account, why would I even need a blog? Good question. You still need a blog. So Facebook and Twitter have actually increased the need to blog. So the success of social media is because a blog allows you to interact with an audience in a different way, and that's based on good content. From there, you will need Facebook and Twitter to increase your content awareness even further by having your blog readers retweet and or like it on Facebook. All right. Third question is, do people access social media networks through their mobile devices? Absolutely. That's a great question. These days, even more so than actual desktops or laptops. Mobile technology and social media often revolve around the concept of real-time interaction. Your mobile device enables you to really achieve instant access to information from literally anywhere. On a side note, social networks are becoming more sensitive to people's geographies and will then want to leverage location-based opportunities. So this is more of a reason to have a social media presence, as all social media outlets are all optimized for mobile devices. Okay, and then we'll do one last question here. Let's see. I'm sure this is one that everyone is wanting to question as well, so hopefully this will answer more than one. How can we control negative feedback? Now, this is really a two-part answer to this, so I'll answer this in two parts. First part, think of this question from another perspective. Don't think of negative feedback as something negative, but think of it as an opportunity to fix what's broken. So if you see a negative comment on a social network, take the time to communicate with them personally and find out what brought on their discontent. Then you can take this lesson and push it forward and prevent it from happening again. Second part. Now, negative feedback can also be seen as something that violates the HIPAA and/or AMA compliancy policies. So if there are potential issues where these may be violated, there are privacy and confidentiality settings that can be actually set within your social media networks. So this will help in ensuring that confidential patient information will not be shared online. Okay, again, we do have a lot of more questions coming through, but I know it's getting late for everyone, and so I will go ahead and stop here. Again, I wanted to thank everyone tonight for joining me. It's been an exciting time, and I hope you enjoyed the content with relation to social media and how it can definitely help your practice. I truly enjoyed sharing information with everyone, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to call us and ask for myself, Lyra Kaluig, and ask away. And so I'll go ahead and go with that to Jillian.
Thank you, Lyra, for sharing your expertise with us tonight on how social media can bring awareness to all practices online. If you would like to be regularly updated on healthcare practice tips and industry news, you can visit our website or subscribe to our e-newsletter, and of course follow us on our social media outlets. Join us on our upcoming webinar on March 24th, 2011. The title of this is How Will Healthcare Reform Affect Your Practice? You can attend this complimentary webinar to learn the latest updates on the health plan's major provisions and how your practice can survive these changes. We want to thank everyone for taking the time to join us this evening for our webinar, 7 Ways Social Media Can Bring Awareness to Your Practice. Again, we will be sending out copies of our webinar slides and recorded audio once this webinar has concluded. Thank you again, and have a wonderful evening.